Program.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Jason Pratt, and I'll be your service associate today. Welcome to the Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, which is located on occupied ancestral land of the Muskogee Nation and housed in a building constructed by free, formerly enslaved African Americans. We gather here with humility, honoring those who came before us. We extend a special welcome to those of you who are visiting or still getting acquainted with this community, looking for a place you can call your spiritual home. We hope you will feel welcomed and accepted just as you are. We invite you to join us in our mission to build a welcoming and caring community dedicated to challenging the mind, nurturing the spirit, and transforming the world through the pursuit of truth, love, and justice. If you are new, we invite you to add your name and contact information to our visitor log at the other end of the church near the greeters, so you can receive our weekly email newsletter. You may also request this online at auuf.org/visitor. We're a very active congregation, so watch the newsletter, order of service, and the website for announcements of the activities you may be interested in. Now, as we ring the bell to begin our service, please turn off your phone and other electronic devices.
Mid pleasures and promises, though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. A drop from the sky seems to have
So next up, we'll do a responsive reading. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able for responsive reading number 444, This House in the Gray Hymnal. I will read first, and then the congregation can read the italicized part. This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature.
It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, and open room for encouragement of our struggle.
It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person.
It offers a platform for free voice, for declaring both in times of security and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion.
It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers.
It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handworks.
It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress.
This house is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor.
These chalice lighting words are from Marjorie Montgomery. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. As is our tradition, we also light a candle for those individuals and families at our southern border who are separated from loved ones in suffering. May our elected leaders work with good faith to implement policies that respect the dignity and worth of those who are seeking a better life for themselves and their children, free from terror and deprivation. We're now going to opening hymn number 146. Please rise in body or spirit to join in our opening hymn, Soon the Day Will Arrive, number 146 in the Gray Hymnal. One of the ways we care for our community is by sharing our joys, concerns, and milestones. We begin with a silent sharing and invite you, one at a time, to drop a pebble into our communal bowl. If you have a brief joy, concern, or milestone you'd like to share with the congregation, please come to the front and share it using the microphone. Please maintain social distancing, coming to the microphone after the person in front of you is finished. If you're joining us virtually, please share your reflection in the YouTube chat box.
Hello, I'm Larry. A year ago today, I was aboard in intensive care at the Cleveland Clinic. It really looked like that. I had tubes coming out, things coming in and things going out. I had a quadruple bypass open heart surgery, and I'm here today thanks to keeping up with my health, and I advise all humanoids to get your checkups. It really saved my life, because this caught me off guard. But one little test led to another little test, to a bigger test, to a procedure, to all hell breaking loose. So anyway, take care of yourself.
So today is our 39th wedding anniversary. My husband is not here, he's holding down the fort at First Existentialist in Atlanta, but I couldn't have become a minister without his support over the years that I did it with a child at home, and his financial assistance and his ongoing support for being a preacher's spouse. And love him. And
Reverend, sir, everybody. I apologize for being late. I had to get a copy of my newest book that I had self-published. I just put it in the little free library called The Closets. If you want a free copy, just pick it up before you leave today. Yesterday we were at Camp Hill, did a lot of camp, looks a lot better. Thanks to any of you that are here today that had a chance to join yesterday. We're making progress, and we'll let you know and keep you posted. Thank you very much.
Hey y'all, I'm Demarius, and this past Thursday I turned 34. And the reason I wasn't here this past Sunday was I went down to Selma and and I went down to the Bridge Crossing Jubilee, where I crossed the bridge for the 3rd time ever in my life.
Wait, one more. I'd just like to say, isn't Andrew just great?
Yes.
To all with joys, concerns, and milestones this morning, whether silent or spoken, may you be uplifted by this community and our common humanity. Our religious community is like a river formed from the many streams of our individual lives, merging and flowing to the sea. The members and friends of this fellowship share our time, energy, creativity, imagination, vision, talents, and skills. Our metaphorical river also depends on our shared financial support to complement our time and energy. At this time, we invite you to give as generously as you are able in service of our mission. Today's undesignated plate contributions go to our second Sunday giveaway. The plate recipient is the Domestic Violence Intervention Center, whose mission is to eliminate violence in the lives of men, women, and children in our 5-county area. They are dedicated to providing direct services to domestic violence survivors so they will gain the self-confidence to achieve self-sufficiency, which makes them less likely to return to their abuse. You may contribute online via PayPal at auuf.org/donate. If you're writing a check, make your check payable to AUF. You can drop it in the offering bowl or mail it to P.O. Box 669, Auburn, Alabama, 36831. Whether by check or online, please note whether your donation is for the pledge or today's giveaway, the plate recipient. If this is your first time with us, please allow the offering basket to pass you by. You joining us this hour is a gift. Now the offering will be received with gratitude.
There's a land that I heard of
This is literally going to be a moment for all ages. And because it's a moment, I invite you to stay in your seats and watch with us a scene from Wizard of Oz, one of the closing scenes from Wizard of Oz. And the question is, what's home? There's no place like home.
Are you ready now? Yes. Say goodbye, Turner. Yes, I'm ready now. Then close your eyes and tap your ears together 3 times. And think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like
So the assignment for all of you, whether it's over at potluck or coffee or our children and youth, to think about what does it mean, there's no place like home. And then I invite you to help sing the kids out. No, that's next.
May your words bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do justice as you go your way. As you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Thanks, Daryl. I want to thank Daryl and the choir and Andrew and Ralph and Laura and everyone. I'm not going to say everybody who helps the service get to come together. My service associate. Let's just give an applause because they make it happen. So we're going to put up the lyrics to Somewhere Over the Rainbow because it is our sacred secular scripture this morning. So if we were in a Christian congregation, we might be doing it with the Bible, but I'm urging you to just say the words with me. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there is a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Bluebirds fly over the rainbow. Why then, or why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I? So, amen. I want to tell you that I didn't even realize when I was doing this that today is Oscar night, and I'm going to be talking about a movie. Huh. I don't know if some of you know that I was a film critic for a lot of years. I know Terry knows. I did a sermon here a few years ago, so this is like a really special Sunday for me. It is March already, the beginning of tornado season in the tornado-prone Dixie Alley here in Alabama. Now, we're in a sort of a tornado alley, but we don't earn being a tornado alley because if you want to see real tornado alleys, you need to go to Kansas and places like that. But already on Friday, there was a tornado watch over 4 southwest Alabama counties. Reports of rolling storm damage, mega miles per hour wind gusts, scattered thunderstorms, flash floods with up to 8 inches of rain. Pretty dramatic stuff for this early in the season. But no report so far of rainbows. This following an El Nino winter here in the southeast, wetter than average, weeks of rain, definitely worsened by climate change, dumping more rain in a short period of time, driving out and displacing millions of people worldwide from their homes. Now, what might this have to do with our sacred secular scripture of the morning? The song Over the Rainbow from the classic children's book and the movie Wizard of Oz, which celebrates its 85th anniversary this year.
Yes.
It came out in 1939. This song that while originally was edited out, they didn't think it was an appropriate song for a 12-year-old to sing, was luckily kept in, and its recording by Judy Garland was designated by the National Endowment for the Humanities as the #1 recording of the 20th century, and in 2004 by the American Film Institute as the #1 greatest film song of all time.
Yes.
So, what does weather, extreme weather, have to do with this? A great deal, it turns out. This song and musical built around the life-threatening precipitation that has cyclically struck great swaths of this country, both in reality and symbolically. Its moments of black and white foreboding, those storm clouds, its message that someplace, perhaps some distant place, brighter days wait. A wonderland awaits us of technicolor blue skies, giant flowers, and lily pads. By the way, Wizard of Oz was not the first Technicolor movie. It was the second. And that opening scene, that scene, was only the second time that there had been Technicolor in an American movie. The book by Frank Baum was actually written in 1900, but the movie was made in and captures the alternately baked and drenched heartland reality of the 1930s, the late 1930s, described by journalist Cale Collins as one long train wreck. From the stock market crash to hard economic times to devastating dust storms and violent twisters smashing into the fascist threats preceding World War II. A decade, you must say, of misery and calamity for much of this country. The very first chapter in the book and early scenes in the movie feature a sudden ferocious cyclone that sweeps up a young girl named Dorothy and her little dog and suck them into the storm. But even before the house-spinning, terrifying event, Dorothy yearns to escape from the trouble-plagued and monochromatic place that she called home, Kansas, to a place she describes as far away, beyond the moon, and beyond the rain. Beyond the rain. In the film script, this is where a standard popular ballad of wistful longing usually is called for, and where two songwriters, one a melodist and one a lyricist, Harold Arlen and Yip Harburg, after many delays and much angst, filled the hole in the score at the last minute. They were paid for 14 days of work and paid $2,500 to produce the music for The Wizard of Oz, and they were right up against the deadline. It was Yip, son of Russia-fleeing Jewish immigrants who grew up in an unheated, cold water tenement in New York City in extreme poverty, who pulled the image of somewhere over the rainbow out of his nonetheless, despite everything, every hopeful imagination and his activist inclinations. Because in addition to winning the Academy Award for Best Musical and Original Song for Wizard of Oz and Over the Rainbow, Hartberg wrote a series of Broadway musicals about women's rights activists Amelia Bloomer, abolitionism, and the Underground Railroad. He was also a lifelong worker for justice and for racial and gender equality and union politics. He was blacklisted for his progressive affiliations for 12 full years, blocked from working on Hollywood films, blocked from working on television, banned from the radio for much of the 50s and 60s in this country because of his progressivism. Yip was also the lyricist for other popular songs like what has been called the anthem of the Depression, Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? He wrote April in Paris, and he wrote It's Only a Paper Moon. It is said that perhaps he got the idea for a song about the rainbow literally from a rainbow he saw in the spray of a lawn sprinkler as he walked through his neighborhood in Los Angeles, bemoaning the fact that he hadn't come up with a song yet. This rainbow, the rainbow that scientifically is a multicolored arc made by light striking water drops, the rainbow whose colors are always in the order of their wavelength, from longest to shortest, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. The rainbow that is an optical illusion which does not actually exist in a specific spot in the sky. I'm sorry if I've really disillusioned you. Oh my gosh. The rainbow, which therefore, despite some almost convincing photographs of airplanes flying over rainbows, can't actually be flown over. And even if this were meteorologically possible, could still never be so flown over by happy little bluebirds, which mostly use a technique called ground sallying, where they move from a perch to barely touch the ground to collect their food, then back to the same perch. And when they do hover in midair, their wings flapping rapidly, they don't hover very high at all. So birds that could indeed fly over the rainbow in real life in real time would need to be the highest flying ones at all. Birds like cranes, like whooping swans and white storks. Most likely of all is the griffo vulture that can glide up to 37,000 feet. Now there's your bird, hypothetically. Doesn't sing very well. The vulture. Okay. Nonetheless, despite these scientific disputations, Over the Rainbow remains an enduring, enchanting song, an allegory of what could happen at the end of a colorless, hard time here in this country, weather and otherwise, a glorious full-color future symbolized by the rainbow. The rainbow. The rainbow that, according to the National Geographic, some scientists think also exists on Titan, one of the moons, and the planet Saturn. The rainbow that is part of myths of many cultures around the world, often portrayed as a bridge between people and supernatural beings. The shape of the rainbow also resembles the bow of the archer. Hindu culture teaches that god Indra uses his rainbow bow to shoot arrows of lightning. I love that. Uses a bow, a rainbow bow, to shoot the arrows of lightning. And that's how Hindu children are taught about rainbows. Sometimes the rainbow is a negative symbol, such as in parts of Myanmar, where rainbows are considered demons that threaten children. Tribes throughout the Amazon basin associate rainbows with disease. But most often, the rainbow is a positive symbol, as in the Epic of Gilgamesh and later the Hebrew Bible, where in the first book of Genesis, after the waters of the flood recede and Noah and his extended family exit the ark, God tells them that they will pledge a covenant promising that there will never, ever again be a flood that covers the whole earth, and signifies it by what? The sign of the rainbow, thus the rainbow covenant of God with the Jewish Hebrew people. In Irish folklore, where the rainbow has a pot of gold at its end, guarded by a leprechaun, which is a male fairy or goblin, all of these positive, interesting, mythical uses of the rainbow. Then the rainbow flags that usually appear as bands of at least 5 different colors. Rainbow flags, we are told, that have long represented groups championing diversity, respect, and inclusiveness. The Wiphala flag of the indigenous people in Bolivia, for example. The Buddhist flag representing kindness and moderation and blessings and wisdom. And probably the most familiar rainbow flag for us. The banner we hang, the banner we carry in marches and parades, the banner we protect, the banner we defend, visibly supporting the inherent dignity of members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. The rainbow flag, this emblem of universal human rights, I believe probably comes closest to demonstrating the kind of prophetic hope for the future that was held by the composers of Over the Rainbow, not only for the fruition of individual hopes and possibilities, the possibility of a brain, the possibility of a heart, the possibility of courage, the possibility of a way back home to Kansas, but also the collective hope for human liberation. Hope for the beloved community, the kind of beloved community that we create right here in this sanctuary. Hope contained in this place where we can live out and celebrate being a welcoming and caring community dedicated to challenging the mind and nurturing the spirit, where we can live out and celebrate the outward-facing part of our mission to transform the world through the pursuit of truth and love and justice, with meaning and purpose, as we carry these out. Next week, our annual canvas begins, the yearly campaign to discern the concerns and commitments of our members and friends, not only financially in the form of pledges, but also in the form of questions and conversations. How shall we be with each other, for example? What will strengthen this home for our spirit and ideals? And not incidentally, where does our hope lie? This year's theme is Over the Rainbow, chosen by your board to reflect the hopes and purposes of this fellowship, this community going to a place where we have not gone before, as we are poised to embark on a new chapter. Who agrees that that might be true? Poised to embark on a new chapter. A grateful hope, a passion for the possible, not in some distant land, but right here where we are, in this home. The words to Over the Rainbow that we shared on the screen a few minutes ago, that many of us I saw tried sort of sang along with, is actually an incomplete version of the original lyrics for the song that Gip Harper described as part of the work of creating a better world, what he called a rainbow world. A rainbow world that his generation was never able to achieve in their lifetime, but who still held on to hope, who still held on to laughter, who still held on to gratitude in the hardest of times. So these, the words that you might not know. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the rain tumbles all around, heaven opens up a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from my window pane to a place beyond the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Or maybe right here, where we are, clicking our heels 3 times. There's no place like home. There's no place like this home. May it be so. No, we have one more part. And you can sing to this too if you want.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side?
What is the end?
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide.
So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow collection. The lovers, the dreamers.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and we.
Will you please rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn in the great hymnal, From You I Receive.
You'll do this 3 times through.
Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
You may be seated for the closing words. Once again, from the words of our responsive reading this morning, this house is the cradle of our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavors. And from essayist Rebecca Solnit, hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is the room to act.
Please join me in these words as we extinguish our chalice.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Please stay after the service for coffee and conversation at our monthly potluck here in the sanctuary. Before we adjourn, anyone with a brief spoken announcement may come to the microphone.
Minister's not the only one with blue slippers. Actually, that happens to be my favorite movie and my favorite song, so now you know. Personal invitation. Next Sunday is the choir service. And it's all about the stars, which is why it says twinkle, twinkle. I hope you'll come. Thank you.
Next Sunday, we're going to be doing our second hour conversation about Article 2, about changing and doing away with the 7 principles and the new changes proposed. So we're having a second hour discussion next Sunday.
So I'm Jason. Herb brought up that he had put his book in the free library out back. I want to give a recommendation for this book. I actually got it 2 weeks ago. I'm halfway through. Herb, it's excellent. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Reverend, sir, everybody. I didn't mention that book during my Joyce's Curse. It's called The Closet. Okay, so there's 1 copy, so if you want it, take it for free. Oh, I need to autograph it before you get it. So thank you. I'm sorry.
Now, let us sing the benediction. job.